We're going to post this video on the website. Okay. So this basically is my stretch routine. So anybody have fake knees or fake hips? You got fake knees, okay? Anybody have problems with their knees or their hips? Where they can't do kind of like a squat of some sort? No? Okay. So Al, this first stretch may be a little hard for you, but you probably...
We're actually going to have to stretch.
We're doing stretch, yeah, this is participation. I'm going to go through my stretch routine. This is my routine I do every time before I work out. So the first thing I do is what I call a squat. And if you have problems with your knees, you may be able to do it against the wall and just kind of guide yourself down. But this is my first stretch, and I stay with this stretch for a long time. So instead of explaining, we're just going to do it. So what you're going to do is get down up on your toes here and get your armpits as close to your knee, top of your knees as possible. Okay? So you may need to have some help with that. Okay? So if you have like something to grab, like the edge of that, you can turn around and do it. So if you grab it like this here, you may be able to help yourself to get down as far as you can. So if you have knees or ankle problems, you just have to be careful. Yeah. So, and curiously enough, when they look at the archaeological record, there's no evidence of degenerative joint disease in the lumbar spine until the invention of chairs. And so most of the cavemen and tribal people squatted. And so we've developed a real rigidity in our sacrum, in our ankles, in our knees and hips from our sitting so much. So I get the newspaper and I'll read the entire sport page in this position. Right. Now, it's a little getting used to because it stretches a lot of things. You're stretching your Achilles tendon right now. You're stretching your hips and where the hamstring inserts to your hip. You're stretching the sacrum and the low back. So you really want to kind of let that low back relax, and you want to try to get your armpits as forward and your heels as close to the ground as possible. If you look at an Asian or Indonesian, I mean, they can stand here with their ankles flat, and those Achilles tendons are nice and loose. Right? So, in our society, we're very tight in the hamstrings, very tight in the ankles. So I'll sit in this position for anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes, right? As long as I can take it. So I'm real stiff, and then I'll have to get up and kind of get down into it again. Basically what I do is I go through my stretch routine 1 or 2 times. I don't do one stretch. I'll do a routine, and then I'll repeat it because you'll be warmed up, and then the second stretch is much more effective. All right? So you want to get forward here, and then you want to come up, and you want to go into hyperextension. So you put your hands on the small of your back like this, and you kind of press forward and lean back into it. You kind of open up your hips, and you press forward with your thumbs on that low back. You really want to open it up. All right? From there, after a nice long hold, about 10 seconds, you want to go forward and just kind of let your arms hang and try to touch your toes. You don't want to bounce, you don't want to force it, but you want to reach for them toes. Okay? And you want to go down as far as you can. And you'll hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then you want to come back up again and go back into a hyperextension. Very slow and methodical in your movements here. It shouldn't cause any pain. Right? Now, what I do then is get right back down into the squat, because now you kind of got the circulation going. You'll notice that the squat is a little easier now. Okay, so now I'm going to read the economics section. Okay, so I'm flipping through, and I just kind of lose track of my time here. I can stay here for up to 5 minutes. And really, this squat stretch in particular is really good for your low back. So, say anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes go by. You're starting to feel looser. Now this is more comfortable. You can kind of stay here and not feel cramped or tight. And then you're going to come up and repeat that again. So you want to go into hyperextension, press on your low back with your thumbs. That's it. Really, it should feel good. It shouldn't hurt. Okay? You stretch out the front of your pelvis. Look back. And then you want to go forward again. And you want to touch them toes again, as far as you can. Really go for it this time. Second time around, you want to stretch it a little farther and push yourself a little. And you want to hold that for about 10 seconds. Then come back up into a hyperextension again. Okay? Now, from there, we're going to do a similar, but we're going to do it with our feet a little farther apart now. Okay? So spread your feet a little farther apart. And you're going to go down and touch the toes again. Okay, go down as far as you can. Okay. And then you may want to reach towards the middle with your hands. Get a little bit of a nuanced hip stretch. And then from there you want to come up into a hyperextension in this position. So now we're getting the hips in a different angle now. Right? And then you want to go back and touch the toes again. Okay. Now when you come up into the neutral position, after a nice 10 seconds hold, you want to just lean to one side. You're going to get the hamstring. You're going to get the groin stretch here. Okay? So we're stretching the left groin right now. And always around 10 seconds you want to hold these. And then you're going to go to the other one. And you're going to hold that for about 10 seconds. Now always go back and repeat the exact same one twice. And never just do one stretch, because it always gets warmed up after that. You're going to try to keep your foot flat on the ground. You get the maximum hip stretch there. Okay, and then go back the other way. Okay. Then you're going to come back to neutral. And with your feet still wide, then we're going to do side stretches. You're going to go over there, reach as far as you can, really feel it over here on the side. And you really want to, it feels good. Oh, that feels good. So you're going to hold it for a nice 10-second hold. And then we're going to go the other direction. Right? Down as far as you can. Good. And then go in the other direction. That's good. Oh, that feels good. And then the other direction. Good. Now, in this position, and you get your feet a little closer together, we're going to work on the shoulders. So you're going to grab your elbow, the other arm, and you're going to pull it behind your head, like that. So here's what it looks like. I'm pulling like this. Okay? So you're going to hold that for a good 10 seconds, and you can lean into it a little bit like this, kind of tilt into it, kind of push your armpit out a little, get a little more stretch into that side there. And then switch sides to the other side. Good. And you should feel it along here is where you're trying to stretch right there. Good. All right. So we repeat that again 2 times. And then the other way again. Always around 10 seconds. Good. And then you're going to reach across, grab the back of your tricep, and pull it across. You should feel this one along here. This is the rear delt stretch. So, and again, you can lean into it a little bit if you really want to get every nuance out of that. And you hold it for about 10. And this program is good. You don't have to lay down for this. So you can do it anywhere. You don't need a mat. You don't need a gym. Hold in that direction there. And then you're going to go over here again. And we're going to go over here again. Good. Now the next stretch we're going to do is you're going to put your hand behind your back. And you're going to reach across. And we're going to stretch the neck. So what you're doing is pulling with the left hand, pulling your head to the right. A nice firm 10-second hold there. Okay. And then you're going to go in the opposite direction. And the opposite direction. Now this whole thing should take you about 15 minutes. Good, so we're going to go two times in each direction. And you want to really reach up and kind of grab your ear and get good leverage there. And go in the other direction again. Good. You want to be firm, but you're not ballistic. You just want to... Second stretch, you should always try to go a little further. Good. Then you want to turn and look over your shoulder and kind of help yourself look over the shoulder. So what you do is grab your chin with one way and your opposite foot with the other, and you want to look over your shoulder and help yourself look as far as you can. And then you want to look over the other way. Nice and easy. And then the other way. And then back to the left. Good. And then you're going to put your hands behind your head and you're going to pull your head down. And then you're going to do the acorn, where you go like this. Hyperextend. And then you want to bring it down forward again. And then you want to hyperextend in the acorn position. Good. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do, you may need to hold on to somebody or a wall. We're going to do torso stretches. So I usually do this against the gym machine, but what we're going to do is grab a wall or something along those lines, and you want to do a front stretch like this. So you're going to lean into it, so you're stretching the front of your pectoral muscle there. Okay. So you want to do like that. You should feel it along here. Now, if you have obviously a door jam or something like that, it makes it a lot easier. And then you're going to turn your hand around the other way and you're going to twist in the opposite direction. Same arm, you're just twisting in the opposite. And you can put your hand on your left hip and kind of push it forward and kind of doing a twisting motion here. Now switch the arms. You're doing the front with the other arm. That. This is really a pectoral stretch. And with the same arm, then you're just going to go in the opposite direction. All right, and then, again, the opposite way again. So you're going to go 2 times each direction. Twist one way and then the opposite with the same arm. Just like that. Okay. Good. Now, we're going to run through it again real in a kind of an abbreviated stretch. Do the whole thing real quickly, and then we're going to finish with some torso stretches and a couple of shoulder stretches. So, again, back into the squat position. By now, it should feel really good. You should almost be able to get the heels onto the ground. Now you can read the entertainment section.
Do you ever read the comics?
Well, yeah, they're in the back of the entertainment section, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like to read the couple of them. I like to read the horoscopes. And so we're going to come up back into a hyperextension. And then down to a toe touch. Good. Come on back up to neutral. Feet wide apart this time. We're going to do the toe touch again with the feet wide apart. And then come on back up to the extension. Good. And then you're going to do the groin stretch to the right. Groin stretch to the left. Good. Come back up to neutral. And you're going to do side bend, one direction. Side bend to the other direction.
You want to do the stretching?
All right, now you can
Just don't go.
kind of bring your feet a little closer. We're going to do the head stretch this time. And then the head stretch the opposite direction. And then we're going to do the elbow behind the head stretch. There you go, you got it. And then the other elbow. And then you're going to bring the arm across, stretch. And then the arm across the other direction, stretch. Good. All right. Then you're going to do a look over the shoulder stretch. Look over the other shoulder stretch. Bring the head down, stretch. And then the hyperextension acorn stretch. Good. All right, so by now you should feel pretty warm, pretty loose. So we're going to do some torso stretch. We'll do 50 of these. So what I do is feet slightly wide apart. I'm going to go this way and this way. Nice and easy at first, and each 10 or so you can go a little farther and a little farther. Never do this one to start. You got to be warmed up for this one. Okay? So as you get going, you're going to go a little further and see how far back you can get without causing any pain, of course. Okay? This is really going to loosen up the torso. Now, the activity should be in the rib cage, not so much the pelvis. You want to keep the pelvis kind of straight forward. You want to really just focus on the moving your ribs and shoulders and your pelvis just a little bit. So what we're trying to do is get that spine between the rib cage and the pelvis a good twist. Right, and shouldn't cause any pain. Right, so I usually do about 50 of these. Right. After I do 50 of these, I do shoulder stretching. Now these are only if you have really good shoulders. And I do this because I weightlift. So don't do this one unless you have absolutely no shoulder problems. Okay? So I basically do windmills, 10 direction going forward, and 10 going backward. All right, and then I do the other shoulder. This is very much optional. You got to be careful with this one. All right, but if you can do it without bending your elbow, it means you got good shoulder flexibility. All right, there you go. That's my stretch routine. That was about 20 minutes.
And then you lift weights.
And I work out. Yeah, that's my. Now, if you take NOS, or the drink, it's great to do it right before you do this, because that gets the oxygen flowing to the rest of your extremities. That'd be really good for you to do. Take a teaspoon or two, and just. That's what I do. I take a teaspoon of NOS. I do this for about 15 minutes. Then I do about a 45-minute weight workout. Typically is what I do. Okay. All right, any questions? Any technique or anything like that?
How heavy are the weights you use?
Oh, it depends.
You keep working up?
Yeah. Oh, I get to a certain, I've gotten over the years to sort of certain weight that I want to do to maintain where I'm at. You know. And so I'll usually vary a heavy day versus a light day. So forth. So.
Every other day, or?
Well, I'm usually 4 days a week is usually I'm working out. Yeah. It's about average. Less in the summer, more in the winter.
Where do you work out?
Eagle Fitness. Yeah, it's up on 100, right near the car center. That's right near my house, sir. Okay. So how's everybody feel?
Good.
Pretty good stretch. It was about 20 minutes because I took it slow because we're talking about 15, 20 minutes is what I should do to basically stretch every muscle in the body. Basically.
Now, how are we going to remember all those stretches?
Well, I'm videotaped it, so you can go on our website. It'll be posted up on there.
Oh, on your website.
And it'll be under something like Dr. Durr stretch
Don't we
routine.
print it out?
What's that?
Don't we print it out on the website?
Well, it'll be a video, so we may have some kind of text with it or something like that. Yeah. So this was it's just the raw version here. We're going to get it up, so I'll probably get some text with it and so forth. But
so we could download it and print it out.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can you know, our IT guy has to, you know, get all the stuff together. But we'll probably have a raw version up pretty soon, and then more refined version up as he gets caught up. Okay. Great. Anybody have any questions about the routine? Pretty good? You feel like it was good stretches here?
It's good.
Okay, yeah, so 15-20 minutes is where you should be at to do a complete body stretch without missing anything. And anything more than that, you're more than welcome to do it, but really shouldn't take that. So, but I never skip it. You know, a lot of guys.
So
they
you do this every day, or just when you want to work out?
I do it before I work out. Yeah.
Just when you work out?
Yeah, you can do it every day, of course. Yeah. Say you want to take a walk, do the stretch and go walk.
Yeah.
You know, but if you want to, I do it before I work out because I don't want to pull anything.
Right.
And I feel a little sweaty here. I'm a little warm. So a lot of people say, oh, you got to work out and then stretch. Well, no, I like to stretch because it warms me up. You know, so and I don't want to tear anything. And I think it really reduces muscle soreness if you work out after you stretch. Now you can stretch out after you do cardio if you want, sure. But you know, I just like that's the way I do it. I do it before. Okay. All right. Any other questions? No? All right, well, look for the video coming up. It'll be posted on the website. Not on the correctivechiropractic.com, but ask Dr. Durr, drcharles.com. That's the one. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sir.
You got it, sir.